This discourse is about insights into the Mercury retrograde in Pisces, North Node, close orb with Mars, almost in conjunction with Mars. And I'm going to work my way into that towards the middle of this discourse. You are going to have to tolerate some discomfort, vulnerability, or even irritation in the beginning of this, unless you want to fast forward to it, whatever you want to do. But first, I want to begin with the importance of Cancer Jupiter and the fact that the expansion of Jupiter is bringing back into Cancer the domestic experience, the fourth house, the crisis that we have with the inner child, and how we're relating to our personal security within the divine self. And the presence of Jupiter, it highlights the father and the husband's contribution into this reality and expansion. And the fact that we've been alienated from that, or even filled with fear of aligning or becoming receptive to that based on feminism. And it was all by design, to leave us weak, to leave us in cycles of futility, to leave us in a cycle of generational curses and self-undoings that we would never come to realize because of the fear-based ideologies and brainwashing that we have allowed into our culture. And it requires an open mind to really consider these things. The fact that Jupiter is expanding divine masculine within our domestic experience. So I want you to bring to mind, rather you have positive or negative experiences with it, fathers and husbands. There is a very negative air around any mention of masculinity, fathers, husbands, men. America, the West, is a place where there is utter and total hatred, animosity, disrespect, disregard, rejection, resentment, rejection, if I haven't mentioned that already, of anything that has to do with masculine. And this could have become part of our manifestation of crisis within ourself as it relates to the Cancer experience of ourself, and those things that we realized during the Cancer Mars retrograde that could have been prevented, healed, or adjusted if only there had been a father or husband in the past, rather in your immediate past, or rather in the past of the legacy of your family, in which many generational curses have manifested and caused much trouble, confusion, chaos, division, suffering, pains, and whichever else that the presence of a father or husband could have prevented. And we may want to turn a blind eye to these things because we are so well trained not to accept that there is any good about fathers or husbands unless we think from a view of perfection. Perfection is the demand upon men. Perfection is a demand upon fathers. Perfection is a demand upon husbands, while females assign for themselves, oh, I'm just human, I'm imperfect, and I should be accepted as I am. Well, it's time that we come to maturity around these views. I am the infamous astrologist, which means I'm the only one who would dare to talk about these things, because I don't have to have the fear about who's going to unsubscribe, whether or not I will be monetized, who's going to like me, or if I'm going to be popular. It doesn't matter to me, so I'm free. And as a free man, I'm here to share with you the truth from the abundance of my freedom. I'm going to keep it a buck, you know what I mean? Before we even get into this, it's very clear to me, it's very evident that a lot of you out there, you females out there, you know what I mean? Whatever happened in your life, the indoctrination has really gotten in your head. Not only are you afraid of men, not only do you not respect men, but it kills you inside to align with the possibility that maybe you were taught the wrong things. Maybe you subscribe to the wrong things. Patriarchy has been pushed. But not a single one of y'all motherfuckers can explain that shit. Not a single one of y'all motherfuckers can explain what matriarchal really is. until I started explaining that motherfucker. You was all up in the motherfucking clouds. Queens, women, females ruling the world. But little did you know it was right up under your nose where that was already being demonstrated. Just look at the African American female. She is running her community. She's calling all the shots. She's making all the decisions. She's running a household. What did that bring her to? What did that bring her children to? What fate does she run into with that? She already accomplished that. And if you think that you headed on the way to that and you're going to do it different, think again. Because that's exactly whose cadence you are following. That's whose leadership you are following. And that's exactly what fate you're going to suffer if you keep going that direction. It ain't no mystery. It's all in your head. It's in your imagination where you think that you're going to pull off a different result, a different outcome, a different consequence. But guess what? You're not. Because the evidence and proof is already put in front of you of exactly where that's going to take you to. Your doom, your destruction, all by your motherfucking self, surrounded by a bunch of cats and a vibrator, bitch. Come on, let's get to the motherfucking truth. Hating men ain't getting ready to save you. Hating men ain't getting ready to bring you no grace, no forward motion, no blessings, no nothing else. You can confide in each other and comfort each other and all of the lies and delusion, but guess what? It's going to lead to the same motherfucking thing. You ain't got no goddamn man, and the end of your life is here, bitch. Huh? How you gonna figure that out? Yes, divine masculine is here. How many times have you ever heard in the so-called conscious community, spiritual community, the astrological community, where even once somebody had something good to say about the masculine? Okay? Anytime the masculine is mentioned, it's always in a negative light. It's always as a villain. It's always something is wrong. It's always he's out to get us, the boogeyman, booger wooger wooger. It's just like the white man who points out, oh, the African American man, that's your problem. He's the enemy. He's a monster. Oh, the Muslim, they're the enemy. They're the monster. But the turning point has come where the truth is exposed. That it turns out that the Muslims is the one who's saving the world. Thank you very much. Salute to Iran. Wait, hold up the flag of Iran. Y'all niggas see it, okay? And so likewise, the same thing is coming around again. The African American male, the very one who you was taught to hate, guess what? The children love him. And you need to find out in the innocence of your heart why the children love the African American male, okay? So it's time to start examining why you are full of this indoctrination and why it kills you to admit that you have a need for the masculine, you have a need for the man, you have a need for the husband, you have a need for the father. And it was not true what your mothers, what your grandmothers, and whoever else indulged inside of that feminism told you. They misled you, motherfucker. They misled your goddamn ass into a burning motherfucking hole, and they left you without into a house with a chirping smoke detector that you can't even change the damn battery on. Let's look into this. The inner child just can't have the mother's input. The inner child just can't have the mother's comfort and nurturing. It is indeed primary. I say again, it is primary. The mother's care, the mother's nurturing, the mother's touch. It is primary. However, we refuse in our selfishness the personal mission that we're on through feminism, the personal aims that we have through feminism, the personal convictions, attitudes, and perception that we have through feminism. We deny the children proper care through alienation of the fathers. We deny ourselves proper care through disconnect and vilification of husbands and men. It's incomplete love. Love is complete when we allow ourselves to receive the vulnerability and discomfort of appropriate care and love that completes and makes us whole. It puts us in a place of insecurity and vulnerability because it challenges the beliefs that we held. The false ideologies that we held, the programming that we have entertained and incorporated into the self, the social engineering, the propaganda. It goes against the agenda. It goes against the narrative that I should be receptive to divine masculine energy, spirit, wisdom, competence, direction, instruction, guidance, protection, and provision. Provision other than the ATM. We have not yet even conceptualized of what provision from a man is outside of a damn dollar. We have reduced him to a dollar and what his provision is. But a dollar is the least of his provision if we could only understand. It could be the case that your own mother has kept you from that receptivity in your life. Your aunties, your sister, the females around you who do not understand. But who's responsible for your soul and your inner child? The security that you need from Cancer. That is divine aspect of security to the self. Jupiter is not only concentrating at Cancer, but Jupiter is headed to Leo where the South Node is at, appropriating this crisis. How many of you are still in the resistance of the fact that we are in the aftermath of feminism? Feminism has fallen and we are in the corrective stride in aftermath of feminism. And that is Leo Jupiter, the divine father who pours in that which we need and expands that which we need from the father's wisdom, the father's strength. Leo representing the strength card, the light of the sun, the free expression of the inner child, facilitated by the father's wisdom and strength. Without it, we don't have the illumination of the fifth house. Without it, we don't have consistency and authenticity. We don't have a seat in the self. We don't have authentic light. Look at our society, how fake our females have become in the West. They are cookie cutters of each other, imitators of each other, in costume of each other. They are in crisis in their identity. They don't know who they are. They don't know how to show up authentic or in their natural self. They're all in costume. No concept of what womanhood is, no concept of what wifehood is, no concept of what motherhood is. They are lost. Completely lost. Making it up as they go. The trauma and the crisis, the tragedies that incur behind it, collateral damage behind it, years and years of trying to heal from being so lost. And they put it all on the womb, their body, the only way they know how to find a sense of power. You become the bad guy the moment that you suggest, recommend, or remind a person that the father is equally as important as the mother. And even though I am speaking in a spiritual or metaphysical sense, this also translates domestically, and we all have witnessed that this is the truth universally across the world. And it's the African American female who taught you how to express this out without apology, without guilt, without shame. But if you had wisdom, you would have shame. If you had understanding, there would be a sense of guilt so that you could clear it from your heart and conscience. You are following the African American female into doom and destruction with the feminine principle. And you will suffer her fate in the end. She cannot find her way out. She is not teachable. She can't be guided. She is not peaceful. Sex has corrupted her entire brand. She has chosen for herself prostitution as her religion and removed the shame from it. And you are following her. She has no shame. Whatever she does goes, and laughter, ridicule, correction, criticism, examination, none of it has any effect. And you are following her. She is the celebrator of divorce, the glorifier of the single status. And because of the magic of her expression as an indigenous person, you fall into that spell and you think that it is appropriate for yourselves, but you do not see the warning, the line of warning, and seeing the fate that she has to suffer because of it. Her beauty cannot save her. Her college education did not save her. Nor will it save you. If there is an inner child, it needs both mother and father, Cancer and Leo, 4th house and 5th house, sun and moon. But we refuse to understand. We don't want to understand. Because it means we might have to heal. We might have to align ourselves. We might have to unlearn things that were misunderstandings. Misunderstandings, narratives, stories, ideas, beliefs that were quite vague, cloudy, caught up in the confusion of emotions, assumptions, misunderstandings, miscommunications, even our own sentiment. Mercury in Pisces in retrograde is here to walk us down memory lane where we have been following illusions and where we have been reacting or aligning ourselves with assumptions. Within illusions and assumptions, fear always finds a way to include itself in what we're experiencing. Power dynamics become very confused, and where leverage is at, advantage, opportunity, benefit, gain, as well as injury, offense, how things are implied and how things are inferred through Mercury. In Pisces, there's a fog, but the intention of the retrograde is to clarify things, get the understanding, address it, confront it, see it for what it is in a way where we cannot deny or pretend as if we don't understand or accept it. The fact that this conjunction of Mercury in the North Node in retrograde is with an orb of Mars, Mars has a way of polarizing. And polarization, it does bring decisiveness. It helps you to decide. It helps you to make a conclusive decision. Mars converts things to black and white. Mars gives you loyalty to your identity. It gives you loyalty to your Aries, your Scorpio, and your first house. It gives you loyalty to your sun, expression. When we have identity, when we're clear in our identity, we then can be decisive about what is valuable to us and what is not, what is meaningful to us and not, what applies to us. We also can get down to the bottom of where the confusion is coming at. Imagine assumptions along the line of where does responsibility lie to myself, Where does responsibility of others lie? That was confused as my own responsibility. This goes along the line of the sixth house, Virgo. Where did others assign to me responsibility that didn't belong to me? Where did others make me responsible for their feelings, their emotions, their injury, their burdens, their fallouts, the karma that they have incurred upon themselves? Where have I played the role of that fool? Where they made me the scapegoat, the one who has to do the suffering and absorb the curses, the poison, the toxins, so that everybody else can live. The sacrificial lamb. And so likewise, where do we take these assumptions with other people? Were there emotional burdens that we assign to others and say, you are responsible for this? You did this to me. Because you did this, I now suffer. Because you didn't do that, I now suffer. But when you look a little closer and you clarify things, you see, was it really your responsibility in the first place? Karma is upon the soul who incurred it. Obligations, debts, accountability is upon the one who is contracted to it. The one whose name is on the warrant. Was your name on the warrant? Was a warrant for you? Or did somebody assign you to the warrant? Did somebody say, here he is or here she is right here? You have the warrant? No, it's not me, it's him. You have the warrant? No, it's not me, it's her. Arrest him, arrest her. And they walk off into the sunset. Blame gets thrown all over the place. Someone's having a hard time. Someone's inconvenienced. Someone's suffering. Someone has heartache. A life filled with confusion and burden, tears, injury, grief. But did they bring that on themselves? Or did you cause it? Did you create it or did you co-create it? And so likewise in the reverse. What you suffer and you loathe in, tossing left and right in your bed, can't get up in the morning, over assumptions that somebody was responsible for something that you are suffering while it was you who created it. It was you who brought it upon yourself. But I need somebody else to help me to carry this burden. I need somebody else to suffer with me. Misery needs company. Mars is here to polarize this, to turn it into black and white so that it is clarified. According to the loyalty of my identity, how is this contract supposed to work? Did I take assumptions and somebody else take assumptions? Was I aware of my consent? Was somebody else aware that I didn't know my consent was there? Was the softness of my heart, my compassion, my empathy, my care, was it taken advantage of so that someone else can continue to have comfort and convenience in their life as I work my way through the burdens? This has to be sorted out. This is a time where it gets sorted out. Separation, division, animosity. I'm not talking to you, you're not talking to me. I'm going to cut this person off, I'm going to cut that person off. They did this to me, they did that to me. There are many times where this boils down to misunderstandings and assumptions. There are many times where this boils down to an inappropriate disposition with the 12th house and the 6th house. What did you consent to as an experience, obligation, duty, debt, or karmic warrant? Did your behavior invite that into yourself? Did the patterns that you have in your life invite that into yourself? Mercury did cross over Pallas Athena, recognizing patterns. Oh, I see a pattern here. I notice there's a pattern with you. I notice that you have a habit of this. I'm starting to see that there's a frequency here. And here's where it stops. Pisces represents the 12th house. The subconscious is burdened down with guilt, shame. Guilt and shame. Guilt that's been assigned to others, passed on others, thrown upon others. In the confusion of a narrative. Guilt has been accepted and received and consented to upon the innocent, while the guilty gets clean away. This is where it stops. Why is your subconscious burdened? Why are you walking around with so much guilt on your head, on your mind? What part of it is true? What part of it is not? What part of it is yours and what part of it is somebody else that they assigned to you? Venus is at Aries. It's asking you to hold yourself in higher esteem, to see yourself in a better light. Lift your head. In that dignification, not arrogance, but dignification, are you able to see a little clearer? A little clearer of what you really deserve or not. Confusion can really happen this way, at that 6th house cusp. You know, the 6th house, it includes where you find yourself using your time, your energy, your resources, your sexual vitality, your personal interest against your own self. It's where you become a useful idiot for someone else's agenda. The 6th house. This is still part of the Virgo eclipse. And the Virgo eclipse, it has to end that cycle off of Pisces. The Mercury retrograde in particular, which hosts the Virgo eclipse. And this is still part of that cycle, as it was initiated, the retrograde, by the eclipse. And with that being said, this is a 6th house clarification. Who and what have you been serving to your own ignorance? Whose agenda? Whose plan? Whose gain and benefit? As you deny yourself, as you suppress yourself, as you oppress yourself, as you sacrifice yourself. Someone is benefiting from you being ignorant. Someone is benefiting and gaining from you having low self-esteem. And in view of a higher self-esteem with Venus at Aries, that can become very clear and evident to you finally. That if I get a little boost in my self-esteem, I might be able to see that maybe I'm being used. Maybe I'm being blamed. Maybe I'm being used as a scapegoat. Maybe I'm a useful idiot after all and don't even know it, but I have to come to admit it now in humiliation. But the humility on the backside, it will make me more receptive. I will know better next time. This is a point of freedom and release. But how honest can you be with yourself? How transparent. Listen, people. Listen. Mars is assisting Mercury. Mars is supporting Mercury. A knot is tied. There's a cord. There's a string. There's a rope. There's a chain and ball. And Ogun wants to cut it from your leg, from your ankle. Untie your wrist. Take you out of the bind of these spiritual assumptions that have been burdening you down, weighing you down. It's time to clarify who's responsible for what, who's obligated to what, whose problem is that, and whose problem is it not. Who sees me as a useful idiot? Who's taking the pain that I'm driven with? The drama that I'm driven with? The motivation and fear that I'm driven with? Who's banking off of it? Who's gaining off of it? Who's capitalizing off of it? It's like a shark loan. It's like a payday loan. The shark loan and the payday loan, it's like predatory. It's predatory loans. And it seeks out useful idiots. In your desperation, you sign the line. In your desperation, you take the loan. A temporary fix for a long-term obligation, debt, and subjection to slavery. Someone is benefiting from your desperation and fear. Right there at Aries, you're easily driven, pushed, provoked to show up as the hero, the solution finder, the defender, the protector, the soldier who goes headlong into war for whoever seems weak and defenseless. Somebody knows that. But when there's emotional codependency behind it, you can betray your own inner child in how you go about responding to that impulse. The impulse says, the one who I love, those who I care about, I have to be loyal to them. I have to show up to them. I have to protect them. I can't let any harm come to them. This is the first idea and principle of righteousness or virtue. But without wisdom, it's simply a useful idiot. Without wisdom. The higher view is what we have to regain. Who are you? Who am I to get in the way of someone's lesson, someone's portion, to learn their lesson? If you really love someone, you will let them learn. If you really love them, you will allow them to learn. The divine masculine is finding its way back into our body. This is fatherly wisdom that reintroduces itself to us through Jupiter. Jupiter direct motion. Jupiter is fatherly wisdom that enters the home, the family, the relationship, the self. And fatherly wisdom is what we have been missing because of feminism. We have alienated ourselves from fatherly wisdom, so we don't know how to find it, identify with it, respect it, appreciate it, honor it, relate to it in our spiritual walk. We are totally disconnected from fatherly wisdom. We're used to the version of the story where little Johnny's riding his bike and he falls off. He hurts his knee, and the mother rushes over there to pick him up. Oh, are you okay? You need to wear a helmet. Oh, come here. Let mommy wipe it off. But what we haven't had is the fatherly wisdom that says, let him figure it out. No, don't rush to pick him up. He can pick himself up. Yes, he has a scab, but he will be okay. He needs to learn how to tolerate a little pain. We're not used to the fatherly wisdom. The motherly wisdom of, oh, my baby just went to jail. They were out at a party. He bust somebody in the mouth. He stole something. He shot somebody. And I'm going to run down there to bail my baby out because my love says that I have to be the loving mother and I've got to run in there and save them. I have to be loyal to who I love. Is that wisdom? It's a motherly impulse, but is it wisdom? What will the fatherly wisdom say? The fatherly wisdom would say he has to learn. And experience is the best teacher. Sagittarius, Black Moon, Lilith. We are allowing experience to become the teacher. We are allowing experience to have authority again. Experience has to become a teacher. But how often do we allow our Aries to interfere with experience being the teacher? Where we rush in to save. We have a cape. We fly down out of nowhere with the bat symbol flying in the air to save whoever put their self in a bind. Black Moon Lilith Sagittarius suggests that we have to honor and respect the right for every person to learn from their experiences. If he put himself in jail, he needs to stay in there until he learns how to stay out of there. No, I'm not coming down there with bail. And no, I'm not accepting any collect calls from the county jail. I'm not accepting any collect calls from Rikers Island. He will be okay. Mercury, Pallas, Athena, I noticed a pattern. You have these nice cars, you always going out with these girls, you partying and you spending money like a fool, and then you end up homeless. But I'm supposed to inconvenience myself. I'm supposed to go against the security that I have in inner child Cancer in order to dart off as a hero, Aries, into saving you and being the rescuer. But you tried to guilt trip me, Pisces, through the power and authority of my love, to provoke me back into the position of the codependent who runs to your rescue indiscriminately. While the proper way is to exercise fatherly wisdom. And to say that you put yourself in that situation and I know you will figure it out. I'm here for you, but I'm not here to do it for you. I got your back, but I'm not your scapegoat. There are consequences, and in the consequences is wisdom, experiences that are designed to teach you better. And there is always grace with these experiences. You will be okay. We forgot fatherly wisdom. We forgot the power of suffering to bring healing, the power of suffering to bring revelation, the power of suffering that strengthens the character, that sobers the mind and the heart, that stabilizes the mind and the heart, that brings the mind and the heart in agreement. We forgot. Because we forgot what a father is. We forgot the authority of fathers. We forgot the right of fathers. We forgot the voice of fathers, the opinion of fathers. And this includes also husbands. How to husband. We forgot how to husband. Feminism taught us the opposite. It taught us to go against fathers and to go against husbands. This is what we created, and we have to fix it and correct it. Feminism taught you to treat fatherly wisdom as control, husbandry as control. A husband loves you through his protective nature. And that's a disagreeable nature. It's the wisdom and disagreeable nature that sees harm before it happens. It is the practice of prevention, not treatment. Cancer is the practice of treatment. Leo is the practice of prevention. The Divine Father. Jupiter is the competence and wisdom of the Divine Father through Sagittarius and Pisces. It counsels through experience. It counsels through trauma. But prevention is better. When it comes to the practice of wisdom as prevention, it is the feminine nature to say, you are trying to control me. You are patriarchal. You are misogynistic. You don't want me to be myself. You don't want me to have fun. You just want to control me. This is the immaturity that has destroyed our societies. It has destroyed marriages. It has destroyed families. It has spoiled children. It has weakened the children. It has stripped us of the power of manhood that we once used to have access to in our societies, and left us with nothing but women with chirping smoke alarms in their houses. Look what we've done to ourselves. And every crisis that you point at, it goes back to this: the lack of fatherly wisdom and the lack of husbands. Too many households without husbands. Too many households without fathers. Too many women who have authority and power, but no father and no husband to guide it. And look what comes of it: trouble, confusion, division, suppressed anger, resentment. Because contracts, burdens, and karma is not being managed. Prevention is not being practiced. We go headlong into the practice of self-subjugation, self-entrapment, self-undoing, self-sabotage, traumatizing ourselves. We are being shown where we miss opportunities to practice prevention. And at the root of the practice of prevention is masculine wisdom, masculine insight, masculine direction, masculine education, masculine management, masculine figures. This is who Jupiter is. It's fathers and husbands. It's teaching us what happens when there are no men around. It teaches us what happens when men are not managing, leading, and guiding families, nations, communities, or even persons. It shows us the tragedy that comes about when we don't have access to wise men. When we're disconnected from wise men. Feminism taught females to lift up the most foolish of males in our societies: the trap star, the gangstar, the thug, the playboy, the one who dresses real nice, the one who matches his clothes real fancy, the one who talks fancy, the hip-hop head, the playboy, the one who's all about fun and pleasure and excitement. But feminism has taught females to fear, vilify, push away and alienate, and even attack the masculine principled male who represents the power of Jupiter in our lives. It's a tragedy without his presence. And we're seeing this in hindsight. That without the masculine, without the father figures and without the husbands, deception is very near. Deception is very close. Feelings and emotions overtakes every point of decision. And that's how we end up in regret and tragedy and confusion. Look at the drama that is passing around, and the drama has to be seized, it has to be arrested, it has to be contained, and it has to be submitted to a sense of order again. Or else the plague will only spread and continue. We have to get back into the practice of prevention, not exhausting ourselves in treatment. Prevention is better than treatment. Discipline is better than sacrifice. Do we understand this? And that's where the masculine principle comes in. This is what your astrologers out there are not going to tell you because they're feminists. This is what the so-called conscious community, the spiritual community, is not going to tell you because they're feminists. The males and the females among them, they are feminists. And what really makes them feminists is the fact that people get monetized. They get paid for having followers, for having likes, for having subscriptions. So they may know this, but they're not going to tell you. They're not going to say it because you might unsubscribe. So it's your fault. You, the people, it's your fault that you can't get to the truth. It's your fault that you can't get real spiritual teachings. It's your fault that they're hiding something. It's your fault that they're not teaching these things properly. It's your fault that they're withholding the truth. It's your fault. Because you will not patronize them if they do. You will not support them if they do. You won't like the video if they do. You won't subscribe if they do. You will no longer be there if they do. If they tell you the truth, you will leave. You will run away. You will leave the audience empty. If they tell you the truth, they no longer will be monetized. They will not make money off of you. So again, this comes back to the same thing. You become the useful idiot because somebody's benefiting off of you being so goddamn dumb. Somebody's benefiting off of you being so naive and fucking stupid. Somebody's benefiting off of you being so entitled and delusional to where you vilify the truth every time. Somebody's benefiting off of it. It makes money. It keeps people paid. It keeps them monetized. It keeps the subscriptions going. It keeps the like button going up. It keeps the comment section full and active so that the algorithm can be triggered. Why? Because you're dumb. Because you love to be lied to. Because you're comfortable in selective ignorance. Because you indulge in the bliss of ignorance. And then when you so initiate and create and preserve, spread and accelerate the plague of sickness that comes as a result of it, you want to pretend like it's somebody else's fault, not yours. You want to act as if you are so confused, but you bought it on your damn self. You are in the dark because you selected to be in the dark. And it reflects all throughout your life. The fear that you suffer. The regret that you suffer. The guilt and shame that you suffer. It's self-medicated. Self-inflicted. We have to get back to honoring fathers and husbands, appreciating fathers and husbands. Understanding what a father and husband is. A father and husband is not a perfect person. Are any of you females perfect? Are any of you women perfect? Have you ever been perfect? Will you ever be perfect? So how in the fuck goddamn do you expect a man to be so fucking perfect? You hide conveniently behind wigs, lashes, fake ass teeth, fake nails, BBLs, and everything else. You ain't came out truthfully yet, most of y'all motherfuckers. But a man has to be so transparent and true while you live a lie. We got it backwards, people. And you love to be lied to. I gotta tell you what they not gonna tell you. I gotta play the role of the bad guy. I gotta be the infamous. I gotta be the one that tempts you to unsubscribe, walk away, plug up your ears, or I'm not gonna listen to this, because that's the very thing that you need to hear, because it's fear that's driving you to act like that. It's fear that's driving you to respond like that. Beyond the fear is where the freedom is at. Set yourself free. We have to examine this. We got to look at this. Fatherly wisdom is what's missing. Husband's wisdom is what's missing. That is the only thing we haven't had because feminism pushed it out. We're in the aftermath of this programming. So we have to put back in what we kept out, because what we kept out reveals and exposes exactly why we have the particular suffering that we have today collectively. But do you have the guts, do you have the courage to admit that it's the case?